Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Challenge podcast. This is the Game Week 5 preview on a cool Tuesday morning. I think it's Monday actually. Anyway, I'm here today with Alex again, co hosting with me. How are you doing, Alex?
Hi, Challen. Good to see you again. Can't complain. It's been a good game week.
It has been, yeah.
Suppose it. Yeah.
We'll talk about that shortly. In today's
Yeah.
episode, it's a very quick turnaround in game weeks. Game week starting tomorrow again, hence why we're recording today. We'll be reviewing Game Week 4. We'll be talking briefly about some rotation issues coming up potentially for teams, and then for the first time this season, look at some player and team stats, and then our predictions for Game Week 5 as well as our transfers and
Excuse me.
captaincy. Let's get straight into it, Alex. Tell us about your team. Before we finished up last week, I think you were considering a wild card. You were considering doing nothing. You were considering doing one transfer.
I was all over the place last week. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
options were
I was
endless. Where did you end up on?
tinkering a lot. So I ended up using the wild card, as you can see. So brought in Sanchez. Nice clean sheet, 8 points. Decent return. Trent, obviously, good performance against the underperforming Bournemouth. So Cancelo, a bit disappointed with his return. Perisic, 6 points, clean sheet. Also, minute doubter, but he got 70 minutes behind his back, so it's okay. Martinelli, 2 points. Rashford, I brought in for Neto, hoping for a return, but 3 points, I'll take it. Aronson also brought in. Yellow card. Good on you, Alex. Well done. Uh, Salah captaincy. Obviously, it was going to be between Salah and Haaland, and I went with Salah. Unfortunately, I'm sure that was the template uh, captaincy choice. Tony I brought in, comfortable 2 points. Haaland, yeah, not much to say about him. Hat trick, vice captain, and Jesus with a 1 point. Did he get a yellow? I'm guessing.
I think
Didn't
so,
really watch
yes.
all the game, yeah.
So,
So 64-point wild card, not bad return
yeah, I think
considering captaincy choices. So yeah,
looking at what your team would have been if you did no transfers, big improvement. And your wildcard draft from last week would also have been bad because you didn't have Haaland at all. So,
yeah,
very good option in the end. Uh, so basically, you wildcarded for Sanchez, Perisic, Aronson, Rashford,
Tony
Tony, and Veltman on your
Altman's
bench.
on the bench. Yeah,
Okay,
I could have started him, but I'm I was worried that Leeds might have scored, but you know,
understandable. I like the
yeah,
Rashford punt. Not many
punt,
people
yeah.
have him at the moment, so especially these next few game weeks, we'll show you a bit later. United looking pretty good potentially attacking wise.
I mean, I wanted to bring him in specifically for the Arsenal game on the weekend. I know he's got a good record against them, specifically at home, but
True.
we'll see. How's your game week 4 team?
My game week 4 was actually pretty good considering I made my transfers last Sunday night.
Yeah,
And yeah, I kept faith with Liverpool defense. And yeah, same score as you, but I took a hit, so 64 minus 4.
yeah,
Slightly down in rank, but again, I'm not too upset about that. Uh, Mount, Bailey, and Archer came out of my team, and I brought in Aronson, Tony, and the enabler Billy Gilmore. Uh, just to run through my team: Ward 1 point, Cancelo 1, Trent 17, Robbo 9. Thank goodness for that. James with another assist and some bonus.
mm.
Salah captaincy as we all did. Martinelli, Aronson. Sounds like you're being air raided again.
Yeah.
Tony
Sorry, I forgot to mute.
Tony up front, Jesus and Haaland hat trick. On the bench, I had no real points, so I'm quite happy with this team. Like I took the hit this week with the intention of not having to wildcard this or next week with the short turnaround in games,
Yeah,
and now this should set me up until game week 8, I think, and that's when I intend to wildcard.
yeah. From what I'm seeing, yeah, there's actually no need to wildcard until. the international break.
Yeah, true. And but I mean, for some people who still had the likes of Bailey, Neto, people had Mount like me, Saka, who kept them until the end of the week. And
Mm,
in your case, I see why you wildcarded. So it's one of those
yeah.
things.
I mean, it is debatable whether you want to keep faith in Salah based on his performances, or specifically last game, 9 goals, nothing, or just bank on City punishing Forest and Villa, so getting the KDB for Salah and maybe Kane for Holland.
Exactly. And wait, is this game week or last game week? This is last game week, isn't it?
This is, yeah,
Oops. All right.
yes, you
I
deal
will.
with
I'll have to
current
change it quickly.
fixtures, please.
Let's talk about
Stop.
the highlights of this past game week. Did you? What were the highlights for you? The first game was United, so talk about United and Southampton. Were you happy with the performance?
I am kept a clean sheet. Uh, we did look good attack wise. Just um,
There we go.
well, I can't say it was much of an improvement from the Liverpool game, but we did win, which is what we wanted.
Yeah, I
We
guess
did get forward a lot, so it was okay.
it's job done. I guess you're just trying to
Yeah.
cement get some momentum basically for the club,
Hmm.
and that's a good thing. Although I must say, based on the highlights I saw, I think there were two Southampton penalties that should have been given for the handballs. Or what did you
Um,
think? Did you see
to
them?
be honest, I just can't recall any of the handballs. My mind is just a blank now.
It They were okay. The one I thought was pretty blatant, and it wasn't given. The other one was maybe 50-50, but hard done by that. None of them were given.
Yeah.
But one of those things. Bruno scoring, not an option yet.
No, definitely not. Considering his price, was it 10 million?
I think he may be 9.9 now, but yeah, around there.
Yeah.
Rashford, I
There's no,
think, is worth keeping. You're not going to sell him anytime soon.
not at all.
No,
Yes, I'll put him in for the wild card for one game and then sell him.
you never know.
I mean, I've done it in the past, so I
Erratic
wouldn't put
behavior.
past me. Yeah.
Okay, looking at, we're just going to skim through some of these fixtures. We're
Yeah.
not going to talk about them all.
Yeah.
Uh,
I wouldn't say Brentford may be a surprise based on performance. Brentford, yeah. I think we went Brentford to get one over Everton,
we did.
but good on Everton. Gordon to get his goal.
Tony, we were expecting a lot from Tony, but again, that's more of a medium long term pick. So
Yeah.
he will deliver. But again, for me at this stage, it's kind of like deja vu because last season, same thing happened. I brought him in when we had like 6 good weeks in a row, and he scored like once in 6 games. So I'm worried that it's going to happen again.
Yeah. Let's hope not. Um, Brighton looked good. Kept another clean sheet. I think they're also like overperforming from last season. I think.
They're doing, I think it's their best start after 4 games ever in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So fantastic for them, and long may it continue. I guess Graham Potter is doing very well there.
Yeah.
Not much else to say. Leeds, I wasn't expecting them to do too well. I think we may have guessed a nil-nil or draw,
For the yeah for the Brighton Leeds, yeah, draw.
and yeah, not much to say there. So those who brought Rodrigo for this game week, don't worry about it.
Nah.
For those still considering Rodrigo, you can now bring him in because he's not playing against Brighton. Chelsea,
Uh,
Chelsea doing pretty well to get the win. Maybe shouldn't say pretty well because it's Leicester, but Sterling get off the mark, brace, and
hmm.
James returning again.
I think it was a typical Sterling goal from his like City days. Cross from the wide Cancelo and then just tap in. So
Yeah,
it's good to see that.
rinse and repeat with James. So good for him.
Word on what's his name? Brendan Rodgers. Do you think he's going to get the sacking anytime soon?
I do think he's going to get sacked first, and it's between him and Lampard at this stage, right? So
Yeah,
I think he's if they lose again, we'll check the fixtures just now, but I think he's going to be out of a job soon.
yeah. Well, they are playing us next, so more than likely, maybe.
Yeah, his potential's there. I still have Ward in goal. Hope hopefully I can sell him soon. On your wild card, you didn't go for James, did you?
No,
I think
I
you got
sold him.
Perisic.
Yeah, for Walker, and then I brought in Falkman for James. I wanted to bring in Saliba, but obviously because of the price rises in the defense, I couldn't afford him.
Okay, so
So
that's probably going to be one of your first moves in the next while because of Chelsea's fixtures being very good. Or you're just not
we'll
gonna
see.
not
Yeah,
gonna go with them.
I don't know. I'll bank on not going on James now.
Yeah,
I'm happy
at
with
least for the next week or
Spurs.
two.
Yeah. Mm.
Next game week, let's talk about the the match of the game week, the 9-0,
Yeah.
where if you look at the scoreline, you think 9-0 Liverpool absolutely, definitely got at least one return from our
From
captain
Salah,
Salah,
yeah.
and not a single thing.
Single. Disappointing. Um, I mean, yeah, considering the fact that Bournemouth showed no encouragement to get back, more or less, like there's no intensity in their game.
Not at all. They were just there for the taking, basically,
Yeah,
and they got took.
they did indeed.
Yeah, no.
Just pawns for the opposition.
The standouts, obviously Diaz, Firmino. We're not going to consider Firmino, although there's always those people, as I sent to you, who
Yes,
triple captained Firmino this game week. What the hell?
absolute sickening.
66 points on a triple captain.
More points on one play in my, my entire game with points.
And I guess the main talking point, yeah, is whether going without Salah is a viable option, getting Diaz instead.
It is a talking point, but I don't know. Salah is Salah. I mean, he will come right eventually.
I'm sure we'll show the personal stats just now.
Yeah,
You'll see that the stats are there. He's just not
yeah.
finishing them yet.
Would it
Man,
be more of a rotation risk as Haaland, considering Champions League next week?
I personally think he is more nailed on than Haaland,
Yeah,
and therefore he is probably going to stay in my team. Speaking of Haaland, the hat-trick man himself for
yeah,
Man City, it looked pretty good for me, not being a double City defensive owner anymore,
yeah,
and looking at Palace scoring twice, and then Man City doing what Man City do.
yeah. Yeah, they were 2-0 up, I think, Palace,
They were, yes.
in a Zaha-less Palace. They do look good going forward. Tech-minded team, good, strong on the ball. It's going to be interesting. Zaha as what's it, a consideration in the coming weeks.
I'm interested in him. I'm not sure how I can get him yet. I'm not sure how I can make a transfer yet, let
Yeah,
alone get him in. But yeah, he's definitely worth keeping an eye on with their fixtures. And Arsenal, Fulham, they did well to win. That's what
yeah.
I took
Not
out of
the
that game.
best of Arsenal performances. Fulham, yes, definitely. Mitrovic again on target. So all those backing him from the start of the season. Good on you. I still can't. I can't fit him in. Like, there's no reason to take out Jesus or Tony for that matter. So
Yeah, I guess on the wild card, if you saw, especially you, because you had to choose between Tony against Everton or
yeah,
Mitrovic against Arsenal, it made sense to go Tony.
Yeah,
So, but I mean, there will come a time in a few weeks where you can switch over to Mitrovic.
of
I
course,
think
yeah.
it's game week 8. Sunday's games, basically after Saturday, my team was finished. I had no players in Sunday's game, so my game week
Yeah,
was over.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
nothing,
I had just the Perisic.
yeah, nothing to mention from West Ham Villa. Didn't watch that. I did watch Wolves and Newcastle. That was a good game, I felt.
Yeah, I think you told me about the Saint Maxim, yeah,
Yeah,
volley, I suppose,
both Neves
equalizer.
and Saint Max's goal were really good.
Yeah.
Main, main takeouts are that the Trippier could be injured, as well
Oof, yeah.
as Saint Max, both having hamstring issues potentially.
Oh, and next game against Liverpool. So
Yes, so we'll have to decide on what to do there potentially. And then the main event of the Sunday, at least, you got your Perisic clean sheet.
I did.
Your FOMO to have him in your team is gone,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
Kane did what Kane does.
It's so frustrating having Kane from the start of the season and look what he's doing.
Th- I think even if you kept Kane, like, look, if you kept him, then you've got 4 goals in 4 games, right?
Yeah,
If you did what we did and we bought Haaland, you've got what? Is it 4 goals in 4 games or 5 goals
I
in
think
four
it's I
games?
think it's five goals and an assist.
To be fair, we bought him in game week 2, so we didn't get the 1 goal. So it's
Yeah,
the same returns.
mm,
And yeah, Son. I think that's the biggest talking point is Son still
it's,
not getting anything.
it's unfrom. Yeah,
So
still rusty from last season, I suppose.
I'd probably be selling soon if I were him.
Yeah,
All right, let's have a look at the fixture ticker quickly, just to show you. I'm doing it until game week 8 because that's when most wildcards are being planned for.
indeed. Yeah. Again, Brighton and Leeds up front,
Yeah,
leading from the top. Yeah.
and inform Brighton as well. So
Yeah. More reason to hop onto the defense.
I think you did very well with getting a double defense as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm tempted to put in Feldman for maybe Cancelo if he might get rested. I don't know. Between him and Holland this week and the weekend, maybe more the weekend game. I think
Potentially,
was closer
yes.
to Champions League. Yeah.
That's actually a decent shout though, because if there's any word that Cancelo won't be starting, then maybe I actually would be tempted to
Yeah.
play Veltman over him.
Yeah.
To be
I
fair,
mean, look, he's
yeah,
going to be my first sub anyway, regardless. So
but yeah, also to be fair,
I'll have
it
backup.
is Fulham away, and Fulham have been very
Yeah.
good attacking wise at home.
Yeah.
The rest of the fixtures
Uh,
though, Bournemouth up there. It's a good run for them, but we're not expecting much.
no.
No, Man City, 2 good games, and then
Yeah.
of course there's
That Spurs game soon.
Spurs
Yeah.
game. Brentford, good games coming up too, and Arsenal.
Yeah. So I'll probably keep Turner until that Arsenal game. See how he does. Maybe beyond.
So I mean, looking at these top 5 teams, how many of these have you got in your wildcard? You've got 2 from Brighton, 3
Yeah.
Leeds, 2 from Man City. Yes,
Yeah.
you've got Tony, and you've got 2 from Arsenal, right?
Two from Arsenal. Yeah. One from Leeds, not three, please.
No,
Aronson.
I was counting, so 2 from
Oh,
Brighton.
okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So
Understood.
that's basically 11
Um.
players from the teams who have good form fixtures coming up.
Yeah. When you can even consider United.
No, we can't.
No, no, we can't.
I'm kidding. Yeah, for this next run, I would say we can consider United as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mm,
on paper, this wildcard
yeah.
should be positive for you.
Yeah. And for you, your team looks fairly similar.
I think it's yeah. I don't have any Brighton. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Ideally, I would. I've got Aronson, 2 City. I've got Tony. I've got the Arsenal guys. Except I don't have a defensive Arsenal player yet.
Mm, yeah.
And I have the Liverpool guys, so I mean double Liverpool defense. Newcastle,
Yes, you
Everton,
do.
and
Yeah.
Wolves. I think I might just keep them again.
Yeah. I could even say clean sheet for all three of those games.
The potential is there. It's just deciding on minutes, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, on that topic, let's have a look at the minutes. Is it okay? I need to choose the right. This one, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
not minutes. The number of recovery days between each fixture, between game
Picture.
weeks
Yes.
4, 5, and 6 for the teams. And I know the graphics pretty small. These are from Lego Mane's Twitter. You can find them there. But basically, take note of the green. Green means that there's 5 or more days of
Yeah.
recovery days. Orange is 3 days, and two and darker red is yeah 2 or less days. So
Yeah. City don't have much to go on, do they?
no, they don't. So looking at they just played Palace on Saturday. So now between Saturday and Wednesday when they played Nottingham Forest, that's 3 days.
Yeah.
And then they play Villa on Saturday, so that's 2 days gap, and then another 2 day
Yeah.
gap between that and Champions League.
Yeah. So all those considering rotating Holland, maybe wait until the weekend. possible rotation there.
It might be for the best. The thing
Yeah,
is, you could sell him and maybe get someone else, but what are the chances
yeah.
of
I
you
mean,
picking the
between
right?
him and Kane, like if you had him from the start, you may as well just keep him.
I think so too. Um, what would you be doing if you want double City defense though? Is it worth keeping Walker and Cancelo or Diaz? I guess some people have Diaz.
Maybe, yeah. I'd say Liverpool in the same boat with Robertson and Trent, but maybe more nailed on Trent and Robbo than Cancelo, Walker, maybe.
I think so. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think I can see if people want to sell Walker to get someone more nailed from a different team,
Yeah,
like a Brighton defender maybe.
yeah.
Then I can
Or even
see,
hop on to Cucurella or James from Chelsea.
yeah,
Even
there are
for
options there.
Fofana if he's available.
I mean, if you look at the gap between Liverpool's games, it's similar to City's, but they have one extra gap between their Champions League game. But then, I mean, look if you look ahead, so you're considering game weeks 5, 6, 7, and 8 as well. So
Yeah,
personally, if you on Haaland specifically, I think Haaland plays. It's a tough one. I think
but
he plays against Forest.
yeah,
He rests against Aston Villa,
mm,
or I should say, he starts against Forest, plays the majority of the game.
yes,
He doesn't start against Villa. Probably comes on and gets minutes, maybe, and then starts against Sevilla.
yeah. I can agree to that.
And then he's
Get at least a half on during the week.
and then he still has a good 3 or 4 days until the Tottenham game too, and you can start him
Yeah,
there too.
I could agree to that definitely.
Then again,
Um,
you could do the opposite too and say he could be rested against Forest, comes off the bench. I don't think he would need to even,
no,
most likely, and then he plays at Villa. Probably comes off early again, and then you can play him starting against Sevilla and starting against City at
yeah.
Spurs.
So, I mean, it depends on the game outcome as well, how that's going. I mean, if they're down 2-0 at halftime to Forest and he doesn't start, then surely Pep would bring him on maybe.
So, I mean, based on that alone, you still wouldn't sell him though because he scored a second half hat trick this past game week. So
Yeah, and his price has gone up, so there's no need.
even if he was not getting the guaranteed start, you're gonna keep him in the event that he comes on.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Any of these
I
other
mean,
games
I
that
could
stand out?
have him captain and then have Salah Vaz as backup, but I think I'll in time being stick with Salah.
That is the big issue there, is that
Yeah,
despite him being able to score that second half hat trick, is you captain him against Forest and he doesn't start, and
yeah,
City go 3-0 up in 45 minutes and he doesn't come on at all.
yeah,
That's actually a good thing because then you can get
mm,
Salah as your captain. But if
mm,
he, let's say, Forest score first and they somehow resolutely defend until the 60th minute, it's still 1-0
yeah.
Forest, and now you have to bring on Holland.
And then come, yeah,
And then you get,
and he
let's,
does nothing.
yeah,
Yeah,
you don't want that.
rather be safe, Salah. I think.
I would captain Salah this week as well. Spoiler. And looking at, speaking of Man City's minutes, you can see
Minutes, yeah,
specifically how much they've played recently. So Holland's been playing consistent minutes. He might get rotated soon, I think. Alvarez, we saw he played it majority of the minutes in the friendly last week, Tuesday, and then he got half
yeah,
an hour this past weekend. So I think he's due a start,
yeah.
and that's why I think he's most likely to start against one of Villa and Forest.
Salah, yeah,
I
yeah. Would be between these two game weeks, I think.
I think more likely is that he starts against Forest. It's a more resolute defense. Oh, it's a
Yeah,
opposite. It's a more giving defense, I should say. And it's a home game. It's at the Etihad. You
yeah.
give him his first start at home. Let him get into the team.
We'll see.
We will. All right. What are we talking about next?
What is next?
Some stats for the first time this season. Yes.
Fine.
Let's look at some team stats quickly. So the first table is big chances conceded over the first 4 game weeks. So
Yes, let's go Leicester. Shame.
top of the table, and the red indicators are the worst for big
Yeah,
chances. So top of the table here: Leicester, Newcastle, Bournemouth, and Chelsea.
yeah, it's strange considering the start.
It is, but we've been pretty open. When Kante doesn't play, we're much more forgiving in defense. So
Yeah,
there's proof. And basically, again, if you have attackers, you're targeting these defenses: Leicester,
yeah.
Bournemouth, Newcastle to an extent as well.
I mean, look at Forest. I mean, if you have Henderson in goals, oh,
Good,
points galore.
good point. Looking at the goals attempted conceded, 79 shots. That's the most by miles, and they've done pretty well, to be fair,
Yeah, yeah,
to not have conceded as much.
no,
And
not at all.
yeah, so potentially City could be the team that cracks the nut this week, but we'll have to
Yeah,
see there. On the opposite end of the scale, though, defenses who have conceded the least big chances: Tottenham,
yeah,
Brighton, Arsenal, and Leeds.
yeah. And look where they are on the log.
And
So
City. I mean, look how
yeah,
not how low down City are, but
mm,
compared to those other teams. So Leeds are the surprise there to me.
yeah, um, yeah.
You're pretty happy to have Tottenham
That's-
though.
I am indeed, and Brighton for that matter.
Definitely. Look again, your wild card's pretty solid at the moment. Liverpool, where are they? Liverpool, kind of mid-table there. So they've
That's
been conceding chances, but again, if you look at their attempts conceded, it's only 35.
yeah. I mean, it's not that big at all.
So room for improvement. I think they will be getting clean sheets very soon.
Speaking of my team, United, we are 63 attempts conceded.
Mm.
Hmm. Maybe much to work on there as well.
I think those are in the first 2 game weeks mainly, because these last two
Yeah.
games have been pretty decent.
Hmm. I mean, that Brentford game, Jesus.
Terrible.
Let's not talk about that. Yeah, let's move on.
Let's look at the attacking ones. So the opposite
Yeah.
end here, big chances attacking wise over the first 4 game weeks. The best teams for minutes per big chance conceded: Man City, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, and Arsenal, doing very well attacking wise.
I'm guessing Liverpool, the majority of those goal attempts were from this previous game.
Yeah, definitely those stats were definitely padded a little bit
Yeah.
against Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace doing well attacking wise too.
Yeah.
They're very good on
Comes
the
down to
count.
Zaha. Yeah.
It does come down to Zaha though, and then again, opposite of that, the least attacking teams, Bournemouth. But
Yeah. Surprising West Ham
it is a
over
bit
there.
surprising they haven't been attacking well at all, and their defense has been kind of mid-table. So you can see why they're not doing well.
Have they, maybe a stupid question, but have they scored a goal in these 4 game weeks? Because I can't.
I think they have. I just can't recall any of them.
Oh, they scored. Yeah, they beat. Who did they play?
I know Fornell scored this past game week.
Yeah, so okay, that's one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's a troubling situation there at West Ham, unfortunately.
I think they're a, they're a team that plays better the more they play. So it'll come
Yeah.
eventually.
Mm.
Any standouts on these attacking wise that are surprising or least surprising? You mentioned West
I
Ham.
mean, he's surprising City, Liverpool, Arsenal, maybe Palace up there. Uh, Brentford, Brighton,
I guess
looking
Brighton.
good. Yeah.
Brighton are more attacking than they have been in the past,
Mm.
and Spurs being kind of average basically.
Yeah. Considering they're an attack-minded team.
But you can see the difference in, let's say, because look, Chelsea and Tottenham are relatively similar attacking wise based on these stats. But
Yes.
the difference is Tottenham have been better defensively
Yeah.
and are therefore getting results, whereas Chelsea have been bad defensively and kind of scraping things
Yeah.
sometimes.
Correct. Yeah.
So if you have, let's say, you have players who are playing Forest, West Ham, Bournemouth, Villa, it's worth keeping those defenders because they're probably going to be likely to keep a clean sheet.
Indeed, yeah.
especially Bournemouth,
I think Bournemouth,
who've
yeah.
had one big chance this season
One can only hope.
in 4 games.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive that.
Mm.
Let's move on to some individual stats. So this is the defenders first 4 game
Oh,
weeks. XGI is expected goal involvement,
goals. I
and
mean,
go ahead.
you could see Trent and James always up there. So,
Definitely yes, they're always the way they create from that right hand side.
yeah.
It's right up there. It's a bit surprising from Aitnori being there too, but Williams, Aitnori, Perisic, all doing very well.
Yeah, I mean, you may as well just play Williams attacking because he's always up there, set pieces, getting the crosses in. So he seems to be nailed on. So
He would be a good option if
mm,
they did, but again, they don't have many good defenders, so I
no.
think they might be going gung ho at home a lot of the time to try and get a result. But he's
Yeah,
been very unlucky though. He's hit the post. He's had good shots saved, so I think he will get a
yeah,
goal
that's the
soon.
thing. Yeah,
Any standouts here to you,
um,
or potential punts for people to get instead of the
maybe
template?
Dallo.
Yeah, he stands out quite nicely. I like that. Dallo at
Yeah,
4.4. United starting to turn their defense around. It looks like it.
yeah, and he seems to be nailed in the right wing back position. So
I think so too.
I
Especially
would
people who
consider him.
are selling, I don't know, trying to find funds to upgrade to
Maybe, yeah,
Tony or a goalkeeper. You can always sell someone and get him short
yeah.
term.
Surprisingly, I don't see Cancelo. In the,
That's a good point. Yes,
yeah,
there aren't any
he's not
Man
even on the
City
list. No.
defenders. Yeah, because clearly over the
Wow.
first 4 game weeks they have not been as attacking, which is
Yeah.
surprising. I didn't exclude them from this list. At least I don't think
Yes.
so. And yeah, it's clearly they haven't been as good yet this season, which is
Right.
quite a surprise. But let's compare that to the midfielders, and there, City are still
That's
there.
it. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
midfielders top 4 or 5: Salah, Gross, Zaha, De Bruyne, Rodrigo, and Sterling.
Yeah. I think the standout is Gross. I think overperforming his expectancy.
Definitely, but yeah, he's riding that wave of form, right? Kind of
Yeah.
similar to Rodrigo in that sense. It's whether we think that they can continue for the next couple of game weeks.
Well, from what I've seen, he's always going to get better. I think in the ever improving Potter team.
You would, I guess. It's like maybe. There's no guarantee though. We'll see.
Nah.
The big standing this the biggest standout for me, I think, is those people who are concerned about selling Salah
So yeah.
because his expected stats are miles ahead
Yeah.
of people others, and he's just not performing as of yet.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I mean, if you are tempted to sell Salah, I think the only realistic person would be De Bruyne for his fixtures and to captain him, obviously.
True.
Hmm. But other than that, I don't see anyone else.
Where on earth? Okay, I know I'm the one who set up this table, but okay, I should. While I'm at it, I got these stats from Fantasy Football Scouts members area, so you can get them there if you join, and you can see all these stats for yourself. Um, One glaring omission here is Diaz, Liverpool. He's not on this
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
Expected goal involvement is not in the top. Okay, these are the top 20 I took basically,
Yeah.
and considering he's scored so much, uh,
And they tend to score is there as well.
yes, okay, I must say that these are ranked according to their expected goal involvement. So his is
Hmm.
obviously lower than 1.52, which is the lowest on this list, but he's clearly outperformed that.
Yeah. I mean, you can see at the bottom of the little graph there, Gundogan.
Yeah, should say that again, just for those watching, the fact that you're lower on this list doesn't mean you're bad. It's just that
Yeah.
there's like 100 midfielders, so you can only choose the top few. But worth keeping an eye on at least. Especially, I think, someone like Saint Maximin, who's middle of this table, but
Yeah.
is in a good run of form in a established team, kind of like Gross
Yeah.
in that sense.
he definitely worries defenders. Always got attacking intent.
It's just his fitness, though. That's the main question mark over him. Those hamstrings.
Yeah. Mm,
Same thing, though, looking at forwards, XGI, top of the pile as expected. Erling Haaland
look at that. 6 goals.
overperforming massively and expected to continue, basically.
Yeah, it's gonna be scary. His figures at the end of the season.
Mitrovic doing what is expected of him.
Mitrovic,
Four and
yeah,
four.
and scoring in the big games. Well, his first big game against Arsenal, obviously, but
That was a good
we'll
thing to see,
see.
though. He wasn't
Yeah,
anonymous. He's always there, but they're
mm,
focusing their team around him, which is good. Similar
yeah,
to the way Arsenal are doing the same with Jesus.
yeah. Which is what United should have done when we had a good Pogba. But anyway, that's in the past. Let's move on.
Reflective moments from Alex.
Yes.
Uh, apart from that, Tony, okay, yeah, he's got the stats there, slightly overperforming,
Over. Yeah.
but we're expecting him to at least score consistently over the next while.
Yeah.
And the
You
bottom
can
of the list
see
here.
you mentioned Nunez in the middle there,
Oh yes, yeah.
back from the red card.
These are considering the fact that he's only played 1.5 games.
Mm,
Those are good stats for him, and I think going forward, when he comes back, he could be a way to, I don't know, change things up. You go with Nunez instead of, I don't know, you could go without Haaland maybe, without Kane if you're ballsy,
yeah,
or it's
it's a
probably
risky
Jesus,
business.
right?
Yeah. Speaking of Nunez, do you think he will take Firmino's place after his performance? Or maybe weekend
I think Firmino probably plays
plays?
midweek.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how. Does he still have one game out? I think Nunez.
There's 3 games, eh?
Yeah, so I think he's
Yeah, the
back in
second, yeah, three, four. Yeah, I think after
game week
the
6.
next one. Yeah.
So I think there's a chance he'll come back eventually, but you can see they're being a lot more. They're focusing on their strikers a lot more, much like City. So the wingers are trying to feed the striker,
Mm,
which is why Firmino's benefiting from that too.
yeah.
Bottom of the list: Richarlison, Bamford, Awoniyi, and Mateta. We're not buying them. Oh, should
Yeah.
uh, special mention of Rondon as well because he's always in a similar position on this list.
Shame, Rondon.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our predictions for the game week. Game week 5, starting Tuesday, so tomorrow evening. Please remember to get your teams ready
Yes.
before then. Uh, let's just go through these quickly.
Oof. Okay.
I'm not going to think
Palace
about it at all.
Brentford. Yeah. Okay. 2-1 Brentford.
Palace 1-0. Fulham Brighton 1-0.
3-1 Brighton.
Whoa, okay. I'm going 1-0 again. Fulham. Southampton Chelsea.
Draw.
What the hell? That's not very nice.
You
Chelsea
said quickly.
Chelsea 2-0. Leeds Everton
2-0 leads.
1-0. Arsenal Villa
2-0 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. Bournemouth Wolves 2-0
Oh,
Wolves.
1-0 Wolves.
Man City Forest
I don't want to overdo it. Maybe 3-1, barring rotation. I'll give them a goal.
3-0 City.
Okay.
West Ham Spurs 1-0 West Ham.
Ooh, 2-1 Spurs. I think they'll carry on.
Liverpool Newcastle, I'm going with a 2-0 Liverpool win.
3-0.
And Leicester Man United, Man United
Let's.
2-1.
I'll go big. I'll go 4-1.
Clearly you support one of these two teams.
Yeah. I think it's only a matter of time since we score more than 2 goals.
True. Alright, let's have a look at me first up.
Yep.
Game week 5, I am not making a transfer, I'm saving for the weekend. My lineup is as follows. I have Ward in goal against United, as
You still
always.
wouldn't consider taking a hit for Ward.
I,
Not even a hit. Maybe have 2 free chances, but yeah.
if I had two frees, I would, and that's exactly why I'm saving, so that I can get him
Yeah.
this weekend, hopefully. Ward in goal against United, Cancelo against Forest, Trent and Robbo against Newcastle, James, Southampton, Salah captain, Martinelli against Villa, Aronson against Everton, Tony against Palace, Jesus and Haaland up front. Andreas first sub. I'm potentially playing him. I'm actually no, you know what? I'm not gonna play him. I think I'm leaving the 11 as is. And if there's any rotation, like let's say Cancelo, as you mentioned, doesn't play at all,
Yeah.
then Andreas can come in. Rotation wise, I'm captaining Salah as mentioned because I think that Haaland might not start, and if he does come on, I don't want to have that one pointer on my team as a captain.
Yes.
And I think
I
Salah
agree.
will play.
Yeah.
Do you think I should
I think.
focus a transfer on someone or a hit?
I mean, like I mentioned before, it's just the Holland dilemma if he gets the minutes, and yeah, the keeper situation.
I think
Mind you, Ward could get points from shots, so if that's what you're banking on.
at this stage, Ward is the most consistent keeper in the league this season. He's got 1 point in every game so far. So you know
Yeah.
what? If I get 1 point in this next game, I'm
I mean, we'll take it. Yeah.
content. Just not a red or something like that. That would suck.
Yeah.
Let's look at your team. There we go. Go through it for us.
Yes, I'm starting Sanchez away to Fulham, Trent home to Newcastle, Cancelo home to Forest, Perisic away to West Ham. Could be a tricky one. Salah home to Newcastle captaincy, Aronson home to Everton, Rashford away to Leicester, not differential from our beloved host, Challen. Martinelli at home to Villa, as well as Jesus. Haaland at home to Forest, and Tony away to Palace. So Salah will be my captaincy. I, oof, I may bring in Feldman, may for Cancelo if I'm not too comfortable with the City players. But other than that, I'm keeping as is. Feldman first sub.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I think you have a slight worry with rotation now that you've wildcarded because you have Perisic as well as Haaland
yeah.
and Cancelo, I guess. But it's one of those things you can't sell them.
No, I mean if Perisic doesn't start in West Ham, but I'm sure he will.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's expected to at least.
Would you have Neko as a second sub against City? Maybe I should bring in Andreas as a second sub just to be safe.
I would have, yeah. I didn't consider the fact that you have three playing subs. I have Gilmore, so
Yeah,
it doesn't matter about him. But yes, I would switch. I would even consider making Andreas first sub because
first.
I think Fulham will score against Brighton,
Hmm.
and you don't want a Brighton defender coming on if Sanchez is your keeper
Yes.
and he's conceding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's up to you though. Are you set
Yeah,
on Captain Salah?
yeah, I think I'm set. Yeah,
Do you not think it's a good idea? Not a good idea, but do you not think it's a week where you can potentially get away with a punt on the worst defense in the league against Rashford?
Rashford. Look, he was standing out after the Liverpool game as a punt, but maybe, oof, I don't know.
Can you?
Even Jesus at home to Villa would
Yeah,
consider.
I mean that's true too. But can you imagine the jump in rank
Yeah,
from where you are now to that?
is that your sort of tempt the hint? Just do it for the sake of doing it.
I mean, why wouldn't you? It's a great time. I guarantee there'll be people selling Salah this week,
Yeah,
as well as potentially selling Holland. It's worth thinking about.
yeah. Well, I've got one day, so we'll see.
Yeah, a lot can happen. You can't at least
Yeah.
at least unlike last week where you had all the options available to you. One transfer, two transfers, no transfers, or a wild card. This week you can't wild card.
No.
So there's one less thing to worry about. Uh,
Well, at least I have captaincy options, which is good.
that is, it's a very good thing. And it's the main differential between not differential, the main difference between most teams nowadays anyway,
Yeah.
because they're all so similar. Anyway, social media. If you want to follow us on social media, you can do so You can follow us at Fan Challenged on Twitter and Instagram, or on YouTube to watch the videos. You can rewatch these streams. Fantasy Challenged, one word. Like and subscribe us, please. And we are most interactive on Twitter, so you can catch us there. If you want to listen to our sultry voices on podcast, you can do that too on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever else you find your podcasts. And any final notes before we sign off, Alex?
Not really. You can catch me on Alexi_Buffs if you want to on Instagram. If you want to get in touch with me.
Okay. You can do that if you really want to. I don't advise it,
Yeah.
but you can. Anyway, good luck for the game week, and hopefully we get more green arrows.
Yes, one can only hope.
That goes to everyone, except for if you're ahead of me, I would like to overtake you then. Good way
Good
to
luck,
end.
chaps. Yeah.
Yes. Good luck all. Goodbye.
Bye.